Hello guys, today I am going to demonstrate data analysis portion from one of the past paper. So for that reason I have already downloaded the source files and also question paper. What I am going to do, I am going to put link in the description of this video from where you can download these source files in question paper. So while seeing this video you can follow along and follow my lead to solve this past paper portion of data analysis. So let us start. So I have this folder with me. With it, there is a question paper and I have the source files as well. As you know that I'm doing this spreadsheet part from this paper, that is task 3 on the page number 5. So this is the task that we are going to do. So first of all, you have to see for these instructions. These instructions are very important, often neglected by the students. They always start, mostly they start from step 12 and they forget about this thing. But it's very important. What they are basically saying is it has to do something with formatting. So here they're asking that if you're dealing with currency values, so you have to put currency symbol uh, for Indian rupees. Fine. So if I zoom in a bit, so you can see that this is the currency symbol for Indian rupees, or either this is the indication for Indian rupees. So you can use any of them, but you have to be consistent. If you are going to use this symbol, then keep it that way, or otherwise you can use this one and keep it that way for entire task. More importantly, they're asking that when you're dealing with the currency, you have to put two decimal places. And also they are giving that 1 rupee is equal to 100 paisa. So let us start with the step 12. So they're asking that using suitable software package, load the file 163 resort.csv. So basically they are asking us to open comma separated value, that is CSV file. So I'm just going to open my source files and I will locate 163 resort.csv. As you can see within here, 163 resort file is here. So let us open it. Once you're done opening, keep it standard. So what you're going to do, once you open any file, Excel file, so you have to adjust the width of these cells. As you see, uh, the content of these cells is not fully visible because this is going underneath the second column and sort of thing. So you have to get rid of this thing. So you have to adjust the width of all of the cells. For that reason, what you can do, you can click on this part here, and then you can click on any separation between the cells, between the columns, where there is double-headed arrow appears. Fine. So just double click and you will see that all of the width has been adjusted. So this is first thing that you need to do and it's important. So if you're not going to do that, once you're going to apply formula, maybe they're going to overlap, maybe they are going to be, maybe you are going to put them in wrong cell or sort of thing. So you have to be bit more organized. So we are done with this step now. Let us go back to the paper. What else they are asking us to do? They are asking us to save this file with the name 163 underscore and your center number and candidate number, for example, like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to save this file. So for that reason, I'm just going to click on file, save as, and you have to save this in your current folder or the folder where your source files, or you can say your work area. So right now my work area is this current folder. So select this and then you have to change the name. So as this is 163 resort, they are saying that we have to change it. You have to put your center number. So in this case, I'm just going to write center number underscore and center number and candidate number is right now I'm just going to write assumed values. So this is done, and very important thing here to remember that you see this is comma separated values. So change that into Excel workbook. It's a very important step. Don't forget to do this. Fine. So otherwise, the formulas that you're going to input later stage, they are not going to work. So it's very important. You just have to change that CSV file into Excel workbook. So just save this file. We are done saving. Now let us see what next steps they are asking us to do. They are saying that place an automated file name which includes the file path on the right in header. So basically they are asking us to insert a header. So in the header section, they're asking that we have to add automated file name and path that should be right aligned. So for that reason, just click on insert, and there under the text option here, you can see there is a header and footer. Just click on that, and you see that you can see now this is the view where you can see header and footer visible. If I just scroll down, you will see there is a footer, and then there is header here. So in the header section, they said that in right aligned, you have to insert the automated file name and path. So in this case, I just have to click on header footer, and there you can see there is a file name and file path. So I'm just going to click on file name and file path. That's it. So once you're done with the header and footer thing, you will see that this is going to appear here. And as my file is stored on the desktop, so path is quite large, so it's taking a whole lot of space, but it's okay, no worries about that. So next step is that as this view, I'm not comfortable in doing work in that view. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to revert back to the normal view. So how you go back to the normal view? You have to go down here in the right bottom corner, and here there is option of normal view. So I'm just going to click on this normal view, so you can see that you revert back to the normal view. So you might think that we have added header, so the header is not visible in the normal view. Of course, the header is not going to be in the is not going to be visible in the normal view. Why? Because whenever you take a print, you can see, if I just zoom in, you will see that header is inserted there. So right now, that's why it's not here in the normal view, and we don't need in the normal view. We need that in print view. So print view, in the print preview, you can see that there is a header that is already there. Let us do the next steps. So go back to the paper. Okay, so we are done up to this point. Now, step 13, they're saying insert 4 new rows before row 1. So my row 1 is this one, and before that row, I just have to insert 4 new rows. Fine, so just right click and keep on inserting up to 4 rows. Uh, Here, again, insert. So you can see that I have inserted 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now next step is that in cell A1, enter the title. So this is the title that I have to enter in the cell. As I have this PDF document with me, so I can easily copy it from here. But obviously you're going to get a hard form, so obviously you have to manually write it. So this is cell A1. You can see in the name box, this is cell A1. So I'm just going to paste this text here. Then they are saying that merge cell A1 to G1. So first of all, I have to select the cells A1 to G1. If I just zoom in, you will see this is the cell A1 of A1 to G1. I have to merge that in center. So once you are done with selecting this range, so up there under the home tab, there is option of merge and center. So click on that and you will see that it is these cells are merged, and more importantly, the text that we have entered here is center aligned. Okay, we are done up to this point. Now they are asking that you have to do bit of formatting of text that we have already inserted. So they are saying that it should have a black background with white fonts 36 point and center aligned sans serif. Here, remember sans serif font is either your Calibri or either Arial is your sans serif, right? So if I just see for this, so Calibri is already selected. So uh, sans serif by default is sans serif. So I don't need to change this, fine. But what I need to change is that I have to change the size into 36 points. Here it goes. And the background should be black. So I'm going to change it from here. You can see here is a paint bucket. But you see that because font was black as well, so font is font has been vanished. So to make it appear as they were saying that the font color should be white. So with paint bucket there is option of this um, font colors. So change it into white color. But one thing that you have noticed here is that right now this entire text is not visible. Don't worry about that. We are going to fix it in the later stage. Keep it that way. So later stage, once we are done with everything, applying formulas and sort of thing, then we are going to fix this problem as well. So right now, keep it that way. No worries. So we are done up to this point because they said that black background. Yes, we are done. Then white font color, 36 size. It's center aligned and sans serif. As you see, Calibri is sans serif. And remember, if they ask you to for the serif font, then serif fonts is Times New Roman. Okay, so make sure all the text is fully visible. We are going to make it visible, but later stage. Okay, in cell F3, enter the text rate. Fine. So in cell F3, I have to locate cell F3. You can see this is F column and this is row. F3 is this one. You can see in the name box, this is F3. So here I have to put rate text. Fine. And next step is that in cell F4, enter 124.2 rupees. Cell F4, I have to enter 120, 124.2 rupees. But right now you see that this is not formatted to the currency. So why not we should format into currency? For that reason, what I'm going to do is to right click on this value and there is option you can see here, format cells, and there is option of currency. Fine. So you can see by default decimal places are 2 and symbol is dollar. So we have to change that symbol into Indian rupees as I told you in the first step. So first of all, we need to find Indian rupees symbol. So uh, yeah, you can see here English India. So you have to choose this. As you can see that this symbol is for the Indian rupees. Just select this and 2 decimal places is fine. We have changed the format into currency. So just click OK. So if I just click OK, you will see that now this is formatted as a currency. So we are done up to this point. Let us see what next step we are need to do. Okay, make the content of cells in rows starting with resort and number of rooms. So cells in the rows starting with resort and number of rows, bold and underline. So this is the, you see this is the row that starts with resort. So we have to make it bold and also underline. Fine. And bold as well. And also under there is one row that starts with number of rooms by location. So we have to make it also bold and underline. Fine. So we are done with this formatting. You can see both of the rows, those are starting with resort, and the row that starts with number of rooms by location, we had made them bold and also underline. So We are done up to this point. Now in cell D6, enter a function to look up from the external file 163 taluka.csv and the taluka name for this resort. So basically they're asking, we have to apply a formula in D6 and we have to look up for the value in the external file. So for this reason, we have to open this external file and analyze that file as well. So for that reason, I'm going to open that external file. So here you can see that 163 Taluka from where we have to retrieve the value. So if I just open that, you will see this is the file from where we have to retrieve the values. So in this case, as you know, that same standard procedure. So select entire sheet and double click on the separation of the columns so that everything is visible. All of the content is visible. Now I'm just going to minimize this external file. Not minimize, but I'm just going to make you analyze both of these files side by side. You see, in this cell D6, they're asking us to find the Taluka name. Fine. So here under this heading, you have to find the Taluka name. So you can see Taluka name is here, and we have to find the Taluka name based on T code. So you can see BRD is here and BRD is here. So we have to return the value that corresponds with BRD. So this is the value that we have to retrieve uh, by looking up this value from this column. So always remember, for such type of instance, you have to use vertical lookup. You are going to look up the value vertically and from the table. So follow along, just see how I am going to do that. So as you know that all of the functions and formulas always start with the equal to sign. Then we have to use Vlookup because we are looking for the value. So I'm just going to put a Vlookup here, and this on screen display help is very important. See, I have inserted Vlookup and now it is asking that what is your lookup value. So my lookup value is this one, BRD. I'm just going to select it, and then you see there is comma, that I'm just going to put a comma, and then they are asking that what is your table array, from where I should be looking this value BRD. So I am looking this value from this table in other external file. So here I'm just going to select these two columns. Why these two columns? Why I did not select the third column? Because third column we don't require, because we are going to look up value from this T code column, that is BRD. We are looking for BRD from this column, and we have to return the value from the second column, right? We are done up to this point. Then we have to put a comma here. If I just show you here, you see both of the formulas are reflected because these two files open side by side, so they are taking effect. The formula is reflected in the external file as well. Fine. So in this case, you see here we have defined lookup value. We are looking for C6 from this table array, and then comma, they are saying what is your column index, from which column I should be returning the value. So I know that I have selected this table array, and it should be returning the value from second column. So I'm just going to write second 2, and then it is saying that either you want a true or false. True means approximate match and false means exact match. So obviously I want exact match, so I'm just going to write 0, and then I'm just going to close the bracket. So press enter. You will see that your formula has been applied, and the Luca name that is retrieved BRD, it is giving you the corresponding value BRDs. We are done with this step now. Let us do another step. In cell E6, enter a function to look up from the external file 163taluka.csv the location for this result. We are going to apply same formula, but here we have to return the location. Fine. So we already have returned the Toluca name. Now we have to return based on the T code. We have to return the location. Fine. So in this case, same standard procedure equal to we are going to apply Vlookup, and this time we are looking for again lookup value is over BRD. Then we have to specify the table array. This time table array is going to be extended because location is going to be included, because we have to return location for this time. Fine. And then as you see, our formula is reflected in both of the files, so you can apply the formula here as well. Then here is a column index. What is your column index? From which column I should be returning the value? It's going to, yes, it's going to look up for the value from first column, and it's going to return the value from third column because our third column is holding the location. So in this case, I'm just going to put 3 and then comma. So it's asking that either you want approximate match or exact match. Obviously, I want exact match. Either you can write false or either you can write 0. Both are correct. So press enter. You will see that it has retrieved a value northwest for BRD. One thing, if you have noticed that this content is not fully visible, to make it visible, you just can click here on the separation between cell E and F when there is two double-headed arrow. So once you double click, it's going to automatically adjust width of the cell for you. We are done up to this point. Let us go back to the paper and let us see what else we need to do. Now, next step in E6, enter a function. Okay, we are done with this one. Here in cell G6, enter a formula to calculate the advertising cost, which is the rate entered in step 16 multiplied by. So here, as you see, there are few criterias given. Whenever you feel you have this type of criterias, remember that you have to apply the if statement. Is, as you see, it is written as if. Fine. So here there are four criterias given. So remember, if there are more than two criterias given, you just have to you have to apply nested if. Nested if is a if statement that is, within the if statement. So as you see that there are four criterias given, so obviously we have to insert three if statement. We have to apply three if statement. If there are five criterias, we have to apply four if statements. So basically it is n minus one thing. So if there are five if statements, you have to apply four. If there are three if statements, you have to apply two if statements, and if statements within if statements. Fine. So that is referred as nested if. So let us apply this if statement here in cell G6. You can see that in G6. So one thing is there that you have to apply formula to calculate the advertising cost, which is the rate. Enter in the step 16. You see, in step 16 we have entered this value, that is a rate. So we have to multiply this rate with these values. So here, if the resort has 50 or less rooms, fine. So basically it is saying that you have to multiply with 25 this rate if the resort has 50 or less rooms. So let us apply this if statement. So I'm just going to write equal to if, and you can say on display screen. On display screen help is very important in this case. So what is our logical test? So logical test is saying that if this cell is you can say less than, if the resort has 50 or less rooms, fine. So less than 51, then multiply it with 25, fine. So as you see, we have satisfied our first criteria, but one thing that we have missed, because we have to multiply this value with this one. And okay, right now I'm going to apply this way. Later stage I am going to make this uh, cell references absolute, because once you're going to replicate it downwards, so it's going to move downwards, and then entire formula is not going to work. But right now we are just going to apply formula. Later stage we are going to make it absolute. Then next if criteria is that, if the logical test, if your number of rooms are less than 101, fine. So we have already included the rooms that those are less than 51. So now those rooms which are less than 101 rooms, we have to multiply it with 50, sorry, 75, fine. Then another if statement, uh, next if statement, in this statement, if our f6 is less than 201 rooms, then you have to multiply it with 150. So I'm just going to multiply it 150. So rest is else criteria, whatever left is, you are going to multiply it with 200. So now you have started the brackets, three started brackets, you have to close those three brackets like this and press enter. And you can see very interesting thing that it has taken the formatting by itself, because it has multiplied with this rate. So rate has its own formatting and it has reflected here as well. So one thing here in B27, enter for formula to add the numbers of rooms for location in column A. But here, if I just, I'm going to give you an example here. If I just replicate it downward, you will see this formula is not working properly. The problem here is that if I just click outside, if I double click, you will see that this rate cell is moving down. As you can see, this indicated by blue markup here. So although we need that rooms should be moving down, that is relative referencing, but this cell should not be moving down. So for that reason, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select F4 here in the uh, first cell where I have applied the formula, because I have to replicate this formula downwards. So if I fix the uh, first cell formula, then everything is going to work fine. So for that reason, I have selected F4, and then I will press F4, and also I have to press F4 key to make it absolute. So here we go. So if I just replicate it downwards, so you will see that now it is perfectly working fine. So if I double click here, you will see, double click here, double click here, you will see it stays there and it is moving down. So this red cell is basically starting from F4 and onwards is a relative referencing, and but this rate is going to be 124 fixed, fine. So it's not moving down. So to make it fixed, to make it absolute, you just need to select that cell and press F4, and it's going to be like that. It's going to make absolute. Okay, so in cell B27, this is over B27. Enter a formula to add the number of rooms for the location in cell column A. So basically what they are asking us to calculate the number of rooms. Uh, we have to do addition, and addition with a criteria. So once you have to do addition with the criteria, so you remember we have to use sum if. So in this case, we have to calculate number of rooms for the central. So in this case, I'm just going to put sum if, right? So for sum if, my range is, so my range is here, this one location. So I'm just going to select this entire location. But very important thing about this one is as well, because as you see, you're going to replicate this formula downwards. So I need to fix these cells as well. Fine. So for that reason, you are going to use F4 key to make these cells fix. So I'm going to click F4. And here, next thing is that what is your criteria? My criteria, I'm looking for central. I'm not going to fix this because when I'm going to replicate downwards, it should be moving down, but not the range, uh, range and sum range. So now there it is asking that what is your sum range, from which range I should be returning you the range sum. So this is my sum range. So I'm just going to select this. Don't forget to make it absolute because I don't want it should be moving down. So F4 again, click F4, press F4, and then you're ready to go. So here, close the bracket and press enter. Right. So it has given us the value. So here in step 22, they're asking us to replicate all of the formulas. So here I'm just going to replicate this up to this point. You will see that it's giving the value of, although the content is not properly adjust to the width of cell. So I have to adjust the width of cell. Just double click here. Then also northwest. So I just have to replicate it downward. This one as well here, and this one I have to replicate it downwards like this, and also I have to replicate this as well here up to this point. Right. So everything up to this point is working perfectly. So apply the appropriate formatting to the cells. So basically they are asking that apply all of the formatting. If you remember, the formatting instructions were there, two decimal places and also currency symbol. We are already done with that formatting, and also make it bold and yeah, underline, that we did already. So we have already applied all of the appropriate formatting. Now in step 4, step 24, save and print spreadsheet showing the formula. Make sure your name, center number, and candidate number are entered in appropriate place on your spreadsheet. So we already have inserted in header the file name and path, but we have to insert your name, center number, candidate number, and on appropriate placing. Fine. So for that reason, the appropriate place is that we should go to header and footer. So click on insert. There is here option header and footer. So you have to go back to footer. Fine. So here, if I just go here, and in the footer, I just have to put a name. So in this case, if I just write assumed name here, you can put it in the left aligned. It's up to you, but because they did not specify left align, center line, right align, but I'm going to prefer this way because there are three portions here for the footer. So I can write my name, center number, and I'm just going to write assumed values right now. Okay. So we are done. I had just to go back, click outside the footer and go back to the normal view. Once you are back to the normal view, that is it for this step. Just we are finalizing the things, but they are saying your name, center number, candidate number. It is in the landscape orientation. So I just have to go to the page layout, and their orientation I have to change into landscape. And also they said that row and column headings are displayed, all the contents of cells are visible. We have to show the formula, all of the formula. So for that reason, go to the formula tab, and there is option of show formula, and you can see that these formulas, the content related to formula is not fully visible. So again, click here, double click, and make all of these formulas visible just like this. Fine. And then uh, you have to take a print of this. So the row and column headings are displayed. So in this case, if I just click Control P, so this row heading and column headings should be visible. For that reason, you have to go to page setup, and there is option of sheet, and here you can do different stuff, like you can put grid lines, but they did not ask you to put the grid lines. If you want to put, even then it's okay. And row and column headings, if I just click OK, you will see that row and column headings are visible. Although it is taking 3 pages, landscape orientation, it's okay. You can take a print of this because all of the formulas are visible. So we are done up to this step. We then, after that, you are going to take a print. Now step 25, print the spreadsheet showing the values. So basically this is for showing the formula for all of the cells, but now we have to revert back. We have to click on show formula again, select, but before doing that, click here, this, because we have to make it visible. So click on home and wrap text, and then what you can do is to make it bit large like this, so that it should be visible. Fine. So now it's fine. And then you just click here and double click here, so to make all of these visible. So you can see all of the content of the cells is visible right now. Even the, the text that we have inserted in cell A, we have merged A1 to G1. Fine. So we are done up to this point, and yeah, the print the spreadsheet showing the values. Make sure it is in portrait orientation. Print out fits on single page, and the content of all cells are visible. So I have to change the page layout into portrait, and then if I just Control P, you will see this is the print that they want. And then they are saying that it should fit in one page. It's already by default fit in one page, and if it's not fitting, then what you can do is to go to this scaling option, fit sheet in on one page. It's already fitted in one page, so no worries. So you can take the print of this. One last step from this is that change the data model so that Resort Sun Village has extra 50 rooms added. So because this is, you can say, data modeling application, so you just change the values and you can see the different results. So in this case, they are asking that change the value in Sun Village. So here, if I just go to the Sun Village, you see uh, here they are adding 50 to this. So this is going to make, if we add 50 to 25, so we are going to have 75. So if I just press enter, so you will see that it has automatically changed the values, and also the values are going to be reflected anywhere. You can say that is linked with it. So now next step is that, again, you have to, yeah, save and print. Print the spreadsheet showing the values. Make sure it is in portrait orientation. Print fits in single. It's already, settings are there. The content of all cells are fully visible. So basically what you are going to do, you are going to take print of this as well. Just click Control P and print of this as well, because you have added, you had made some changes here, you see. So they want to see those changes. So this is it for this entire part of Microsoft Excel. So that's it. You just have to see for the lookup and lookup formula. and also formatting has been done, and also you can see formatting related to title that we have inserted in the cell A1, that is there. And you can see if I just control P, your document is here. So that is it for today. That is it for this video. So hopefully this is going to make sense for you. And obviously, um, by just seeing and uh, just viewing, it's obviously it's not going to make sense until you do the practice. So for that reason, I will provide the source files and what you can say, the question paper. The link is in the description. Download those and follow along, follow my lead, and obviously you're ready to go. That's it. Thank you.